So you guys remember a couple videos back where we did the water pump on old F150 here. Well, what do you say we do another belt driven piece of machinery? Last week, boy, y'all missed it. Last week, truck wouldn't start at work. I'm like, well, the battery's dead. Battery was 5 years old. I figured it's probably about time anyway. So I went and got a battery. $170. And then this week, truck died on me at work when I got back from running an errand. And I was like, well, it would appear there wasn't nothing wrong with the battery. It was the alternator. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to put this alternator on. Enjoy this intro. Now, being as I got off work late today, and it's already whatever time it is, after 5 probably, it's not going to be the best lighting because obviously I can't move the truck because it won't start until I get the alternator in it. And it's warm. It's rather warm out here, so you know, it is what it is, and we do what we got to do to get y'all some content. But let me go figure out what tools I'm going to need. Cannot wait to take that belt off again. One of my favorite things. But of course we're going to have to get the intake tube out of the way because, you know, why wouldn't you? Why would it not be in the way? So let me go get some tools and we'll get started. So I've been driving the Ranger the last couple days of work, which ain't terrible. Like I said, the old Ranger, she runs like a champ, but not having heat and AC, because we're in that weird period in Florida where it wants to be winter in the morning time and summer in the afternoon. So you gotta be prepared for that. But we're going to get this intake tube off, hopefully. It kind of looks like the radiator hose is in the way, but I'm hoping we can kind of weasel it around that. Because I don't really want to take the radiator hose off. There we go. Not even going to unhook the mass airflow. So it looks like there's 2 bolts on the bottom. Y'all come in here and take a look. Don't be shy. You probably can't see that, can you? I'm still figuring out this new mount I got. There's 2 bolts down there. They're like the main bolts that hold it on. And it looks like there's some bracketry up here on the top. And that should be it. There's a plug here, a plug back here, unplug it, unbolt it, take the belt off, switch it out. I notice it says it's made in China. So this is not the original radiator, or not the original alternator. Which is fine because the one I got is also made in China. So out with the old China, in with the new China. Oh, let's see how much fun this is going to be. I should probably go ahead and loosen that belt. Alright, for those watching at home, got the, I believe that's the coil wire. Got the coil wire off. Got this unplugged, but I'm not sure how to get this unplugged. I don't want to pull on that wire and pull it out of the plug, but you can't really get a grip on it. I guess I'm going to try some pliers. Then other than that, 10 millimeter, got that off, and assume 10 millimeter be them back there too, probably. So let me get some pliers, figure out how to get that thing off. I don't want to break it, then I'd really be in some trouble then. I'm telling you right now, guys, this is not what you want to do after working over 9 hours in a day. But it's got to be done. But one thing I do not know, why do these bolts got to be so long? One of these days I'm going to get one of them battery powered wrenches that I keep asking for Christmas every year. One of these days. Apparently this bolt wasn't even tight. This is going to take forever. It seems fine. Doesn't make no noise when it turns. There's no resistance. Nothing making noise. But it don't make no juice. Given the fact that a brand new battery did not make it. Funny thing though, that battery, Superstart Economy, the cheapest battery O'Reilly's had. So I changed, what was it, last Thursday? I want to say it was last Thursday I put the battery in. So if the alternator wasn't working, then that means this truck ran off the charge in that battery from Thursday until Tuesday. That's pretty impressive for old Superstart. Alright, we were able to fish this around the hose. Hopefully we can do the same with the new one. Looks the same. I used to spend my nights out in a barroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottle. Y'all got any request songs you want me to sing? I can't sing, but I will do it. People that have been watching this channel long enough know. I used to sing it in my podcast. It was terrible, but I enjoy singing. So far, other than a little bit of aggravation, getting that clip out, finding what size these bolts were, this has been relatively easy. I'm super happy I didn't have to take off that radiator hose.
got it going back on now, ain't you?
Yeah, if I can get this hole on top line up.
You know, you're probably going to put a battery on charge, don't you?
Yeah.
I think that one charger of mine in there works to run your cord out there to it.
Pro tip: don't tighten the bottom bolts until you get the top one in, because you need to be able to move it to line up that hole on the top. It's not perfectly aligned, but you know what? It'll figure itself out. As long as there's enough to get a thread started. I don't know if there's a specific order you're supposed to go in when you're plugging it back up, but I feel like we're plug in the whatever these are, plugs, harness. We'll plug that in first and then we'll hook up the coil. That seems like a safe enough bet. Now for the grand finale. Putting this sorry belt back on. Good news is it seems to have stayed on all the other pulleys. There you have it. Oh yeah, I gotta put the intake tube back on. Now, as as you heard my dad say, we're going to have to put it on a charger, let it charge up overnight, and then I guess tomorrow I'll come back and finish this video so you guys can see if it worked or not, because I'm sure you're curious. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Alright, so it's not the next day, but I couldn't wait. Anyway, I come out here to check the battery charger, and it was, I don't know how long I've been inside, an hour and a half, 2 hours I've been inside, and I thought for sure, like, it should be on the next level. I'll show you my charger, but it wasn't. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to try it. I turned the key, purring like a kitten. What are you going to do to stop her for? You can't stop them. So here's what I was talking about. I had my charger plugged in, and that light was flashing, or that one. And that's what it does. But after 2 hours, it hadn't moved on to the second one. So I was like, I'm just going to try it. Look with it. She busted right off without even hesitation. So that's awesome. So we're back in business. Let's try it. Let's make sure it's going to start if I turn it off. It's off. Boom, son. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. Anyhow, I'm going to take it for a lap around the yard. Why? I don't know, because I ain't drove it since Tuesday, and I want to drive my truck. Plus, in the last 2 weeks, I got over $300 in this truck. Between the battery, I paid like $150 for the battery. I paid $100 for the alternator. And I paid $6 or $7 to tow it back to the house from work Tuesday, because Progressive only covered 15 miles of towing. And I live way further than 15 miles from work. Anyway, we got her up and running. She's good to go. So let me go inside and I'll finish this video up for y'all. Alright, well, before we can end the video, there's been a couple days now since the last clip you saw. That was Thursday, today's Sunday, and my belt, or the alternator that I put in it, not sure which one, is squeaking. Doesn't squeak at idle, but as soon as you start driving, getting them RPMs, it starts squeaking, like constantly. I'm not real sure why. I mean, the only thing we changed is the alternator, so that's got to kind of be the only the only answer. I don't see any place where the belt is not where it's supposed to be. So I don't know if that alternator is just squeaky, but the only thing I know to do is take some, I don't know if I have any PB Blaster. Probably all I got is WD-40. I'll take that, spray it on there, see if that helps. I'm skeptical if that's going to help. I'm not in love with the idea, but it's flipping annoying. I want it to shut up. So let's go see if I can find some. Let's look over here in the old shed. There was a can of PB Blaster around here at one point. I'd rather use that. We use whatever we can find for the time being. No, there is nothing. I guess it's going to be WD. I was thinking, side note here, even though I hate getting up early on my day off, I was thinking about getting up early next Saturday, maybe next Saturday, or some Saturday in the future. Maybe not next Saturday, but Saturday after. And putting this lowering kit on, because I'm pretty sure that I could do it in a day if I got up early. Really hate getting up early in the morning. Anyway, what am I doing? Looking for I'd like to have PB Blaster, but I'm sure all my dad ever has is WD-40. Can I get the straw can to work? There's not much in it. It might work though. But I got an idler arm that needs to go on the F-150. And I was like, well, we do a video on the idler arm. We need to get that taken care of before we lower it. Probably. That's probably like a good idea. But then I was like, well, you know, when we're down there lowering it, tearing the suspension apart, I mean, we're there. The idler arm is kind of part of the suspension. Might as well just slap it on there while we're down there tearing the suspension apart. So we might do that, because I watched the video, because you know that's how you learn how to do things in 2024. Watched the YouTube video on doing the idler arm, and it looks like it's going to take like 5 minutes. So it shouldn't be that difficult of a thing to do. Let's see if this does anything. I'm not even sure where to put it. Not sure how to get to it. I feel like the little goes a long way. Of course, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if change the water pump, alternator goes out, change the alternator, something else goes out. It's kind of the streak we've been on. Maybe the power steering pump's gonna go out now, I don't know. Something else with a pulley attached to it. Stellars. We're trying to make the squeak go away, Stellars. Say something for the people, or just go away. That's fine too. Let's see if that helps. Still squeaking just a little bit. Like I said, I don't really know if this is going to do anything. Well, I will say it's quieter than it was, even though it didn't completely go away when you give it RPMs. It still has a little bit of a squeak in it, but we'll give it a couple days. Maybe I'll stop and get some actual PB Blaster or something like that, try on it. But I recognize it's as good as we're going to get it at the moment, so I'll go ahead and close the video out. Stella was standing at the door like I would very much like to go into the air conditioning, so I had to let her in. Though I've been teaching Sunday school last couple Sundays. We're on a rotating schedule, but we ain't got to the rotating part yet. But I've been teaching last couple Sundays, and we went back to using the quarterly for, not for me because I don't really need the quarterly to teach Sunday school, but my pastor wants to get some other guys, you know, into teaching, and the best way to learn would be to have the book, the quarterly. Anyway, gives you a foundation. But we've been in James 2 in the quarterly, and I'm trying to find a good place to put this camera. And been talking about faith and works. Not the best lighting, but it is what it is. So we've been talking about faith and works, and verse that we came across this morning in our reading, James chapter 2. It says in James chapter 2, verse 19, "Thou believest that there is one God. Thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble." So, you know, some people got this idea that, well, I believe in God, so, you know, I'm good, I'm okay. And it says there, you believe in one God, you do well, but the devils also believe in one God and they tremble. And there are people out there who believe in a higher power, or, you know, some kind of creator. They believe in a God, not necessarily the God in the Bible, but in their head they believe it's the God of the Bible. But just believing in God is not enough to get you to heaven. The Bible says, and we've mentioned here, you know, on this channel several times, the way you are saved and born again is by believing in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. That is what your faith is in. Why are you going to heaven? Because Jesus died on a cross, was buried, and rose again for my sins. And that is what all your faith is in as far as why you're going to heaven. Not because you believe in God, not because you think you're a good person. The Bible doesn't say those things save you. It says belief in Jesus' work is what saves you. So take that under consideration. You know, if you think you're going to get to heaven on your good works, it's not going to happen. If you think you're going to get to heaven just because you believe, well, there must be a God up there somewhere, that's not going to cut it. Even the devils believe that there's a God up there, and they're not going to heaven, are they? So you got to ask yourself the question, what is my faith in? Is my faith in the God of this Bible and the work of his Son on the cross, or is my faith in something else that, you know, is false faith? It's a faith I have in something that has no power to save me at all. So I don't want people to wander through this world thinking they're going to go to heaven when they're not following the way that God put forth for us to get saved and go to heaven. I appreciate y'all tuning into this week's video. This was a video, like I released last week's video about painting the bezel on the F150, and now I'm not caught up on my videos. So I'm like, man, now I got to get caught up again, or else I'm going to be behind. Then my alternator went out, so I'm like, well, there you go. God just gave me something to make a video on. Even though I'd rather do fun stuff like the lowering kit and things like that, and we got to fix that dash bezel. That thing looks like trash, but we'll get around to that. And I want to get started working on Scarlet at some point. Really do want to do that. So I appreciate y'all tuning in these videos, even though it just seems like the fun stuff is just slightly out of reach, but we're going to get there. So thank y'all for watching. And the views that I'm getting ain't as great as the first two videos, but they're still not too shabby in my opinion. We'll get there. We're young, kinda. I mean, the channel ain't young, but the new content is young. We'll get up there. I also appreciate you guys that comment on every video, because comments help so much. So all you guys that comment on the videos, I don't even care what you say, as long as you say something in a comment. It helps the channel. So I appreciate y'all coming by here and watching this old doofus from Florida try to turn wrenches on trucks. And remember, you might regret buying that Ford, especially when the alternator pukes on you, but you'll never regret being forgiven. See y'all later.